All right, welcome back. So now we're going to be going ahead and we're going to be taking a look at DLL hijacking. So I'm going to hop over into Metasploitable 3. You can remote desktop in, however you want to get in here, right? Whatever you want to do. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to Properties. I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger for you all. 12 by 16. There we go. I mean, that's as big as I can make it. This is also a older Windows version, so the font thing isn't really that good. There we go. We'll say 28. Okay. There we go. That looks a little bit better there. And when we get into Vagrant here, we can see that there is we see as a desktop, right? We can see that there is an employees.exe file. Just so you guys know, with PowerShell, you can also do an ls. You can also do ls tech force, which shows hidden files. Okay, so everyone knows, a little quick side quest there. But we can see this employees.exe like right here. So if we go ahead and we try to run that employees.exe, we see that the DLL is not found. Right now, that is not realistic, just having it straight up say DLL not found, right? But this is a trade environment, and this is just to get you guys to learn, that we can look at DLLs and try to exploit those. So there are a lot of DLLs that are not on a system, even just straight out of the box. Right, so, and also another thing is DLLs, the program will always look where it's ran from, where that program is. Like this one will look for the DLL right here first, and then it will look and like see Windows System 32 or whatever else. Okay, it'll start looking at other places. So if we can actually put the DLL before, like as it goes down the line, before it looks in a certain area, if we can get that DLL maybe on like the desktop or whatever, and then someone runs that program, it'll actually run our DLL file because it's looking there first. So let's go ahead and let's grab this employees.exe. The sysinternals on this guy does not work. I think it's just too old. You can get them to work, whatever, but then you can use it on there, but I think it's just too old. But let's go ahead and let's grab that employees.exe. Let's bring it back to ourselves. Okay. And from there, we'll move it over to our Windows machine. And then what we can do after we move to our Windows machine is we can go ahead and we can use Process Monitor, which is in the sysinternal suite, and see what DLL it's trying to load. We know what it's trying. We know the error like right here, so we can utilize that error to our advantage whenever we're trying to find it. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an SMB client, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to log into the C drive on here. All right. So Vagrant has that ability, VAGRANT, Vagrant, and if we do a DIR, we are now in the C drive. Right, that's C drive. So we can see the users, Vagrant, desktop, dir, and we can see there's employees.exe. So let's go ahead and get that employees.exe like right there. Now we pulled that employees.exe back to us. Now what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up PowerShell here. Right, once I open up this PowerShell, I can go ahead and I can bring the employees.exe back to me now. So let me go ahead and go to Properties, make this bigger for you all. And we'll go ahead and we'll do an SCP Cali at 192.168.0. something. I don't know what my own IP address is. So we'll go ahead and grab my IP address. .186, right? .186/home. Oh, excuse me, that guy. Home Cali desktop, or no, actually home Cali Windows, right? Yep, home Cali Windows. This is how I also set stuff over for work, so I'm used to going to the desktop and then going into the folders and things like that. Home Cali Windows, and we'll do employees.exe. We'll drop it right here on my desktop. Now, when you do this, if you get an error, okay, or if it can't find it, or if it can't SSH in, that's because SSH is not enabled on Cali here, so you have to do a sudo systemctl enable SSH, not restart, but enable SSH. Okay, you have to do something like that. If it's already enabled, it's just going to, okay, whatever you say, boss. It's going to still run it, but it's not going to do anything for you, right? From here, what we're going to do now is we are going to open up Process Monitor. So I'm going to open up Procmon. And once I open up that Procmon, we can see that I have all these different things in here, right? So I know that this is a little bit hard to see. This is big as what I can make it. Sorry. But we have result contains, and then value is found. So all I have to do is go here. I'm going to click on result. Contains and then this value, I'm just going to say found. So whenever I run this program, the word found is in there, right? So that's all we're looking for. Just that word found. That's it. And then we're going to say our path ends with .dll. So now we're looking for things that end in .dll, and it says found in the error that we get. And we can go ahead and we can say okay. Now once you do this for the first time, it will take a minute. It's going to take a minute to filter all that out. But we see we already got stuff, right? We already have some stuff in here. Like this one is not found. I didn't even make this, but it's looking right there for this DLL and it's not found. Okay, this is straight off from Windows itself. All right, so we got some Chrome stuff in here, not found. Right, so next time someone goes to load up Chrome, if it's looking for version.dll and you're able to write something to see program files x86 Google Chrome application, and you put that DLL in there, well, then guess what? You can now take over their system, do that DLL hijacking like right there. Now, we obviously also want to get things that are going to be ran as an administrator, some of that, right? But let's go ahead and let's make a variable or excuse me, we still have to be over here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make a exploitable DLL file. So let's start up this guy like right here. So we'll go back to here. We'll do a /employees.exe. We got DLL not found. We just got a bunch of stuff pop up, right? And there's our employees.exe. Okay, so it looks at this VC runtime saying that that's not found. And that's on the desktop, so we could try to take over that. We also see this variable.dll, and that's also not found, right? So we got two different DLLs that are running with this executable that are not found. And it's looking at the desktop first. Then from there, that's looking in System32, then System, then Windows, and then, it kind of keeps going through and just trying to find those different places. So let's throw variable.dll on the desktop. So we'll hop back over into Kali here, and we'll run an MSF Venom file. So what we're doing here, we got an MSF Venom, Windows x64 interpreter. I just did a reverse HTTPS. You can do whatever you want. All right. If this is a client machine, you could do like Windows command, like the Windows execute, and then just say command equals calc, calc.exe, and it'll open up the calculator, right? That's usually a proof of concept like right there, open up the calculator. Our L host, so who is me, right? We're bringing it back to myself, and then our L port. So let's go ahead and we're going to say set payload to this like right here. We're going to say set our L host to this guy like right here. Or we can also tap our way through that. You can also say Ethernet 0 or whatever Ethernet it is. And then set L port to 4443. We'll run that, and now this guy's now listening. We're going to go ahead and we're going to create that variable DLL, and then we're going to put that on his desktop. We can also do that through SMB client. So if I CD back into users, Vagrant, desktop, right, and I do my dir here, and then I can go ahead and I can put variable.dll, and that's now on his desktop. All right, let's go ahead and exit out of here, and all we have to do now is just run it, or we just have to wait for him to run it, or we just have to wait for an administrator to run it, or anyone to run that file now. That's all we have to do. We just have to wait now. So we're going to hop over here. We're going to run it for him, so we're not going to sit here waiting all day. We're just going to say employees.exe. Enter. You notice we don't get the DLL not found anymore. It's found. The DLL is there. If I do a dir, there's our DLL. Hopping back over to my Kali machine, it might take a minute or two. You might have to run it a couple times, things like that. But finally, you will get a reverse shell, right? So we have this like right here. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. It's going to go ahead and send it across still. Also, I do talk about stage and stageless payloads. As you can see, this is a staged payload like right here. We could have made it stageless. Would have went a little bit faster, but you can see that's staging the payload. So it's going to send some bytes, and then it's going to send the rest of it, right? So we could also have made a stageless payload and probably already gotten a shell back by now. But let's go ahead and let's run it again. And there we go. We get an interpreter session opened. So now we now have an interpreter session. Let's do a get UID, see who I am. And okay, I'm Vagrant. Okay. We do our question mark, and just like we talked about our last video, we could try to run different things, right? Let's go ahead and do get system. This is going to try to elevate my privileges. This tries to do it, I think it's in 3 different ways that tries to elevate your privileges. But we do get system here, and boom, there we go. We have now got system, so get UID, but we are now NC system authority or NC authority system. I'm going to exit out of here. And we'll go ahead and we'll run this again. I just want to try another thing. I want to try to load incognito and load Kiwi to see if we can get anything back with that. Blaze.exe. It's going to take a minute. We already know that. We'll run it a couple times. The guy's like, oh, it doesn't work. We'll just keep running it. All right. And once we get that back, what I want to try to do is load incognito and load Kiwi. And I want to load incognito because I want to see if there's any tickets that we can use, just to show you that part. I have no idea if there is tickets that we can use or anything like that, but just kind of just show you that part, see if it, just so you can see how to do that. Because you have to do like load tickets, you can do it by user or groups or things like that. So it does get a little, if you mess it up, it doesn't really give you the best output that you messed up, that's all. All right, still waiting. There we go. So now we can go ahead and we can load incognito, and let's also load Kiwi. Now when I load Kiwi, actually this guy might be an administrator, so I don't know. I'm about to say, if he's not an administrator, we're not going to be able to do some of these things. So I'm not just going to be able to do an LSA dump secrets as a regular user, all right, if I'm not an administrator. But I have these incognito now. Let's go ahead and look at, let's go ahead and list the tokens first. We'll do list tokens. I believe it wants you to pick one. Yep, list tokens by unique username or by group name. So we're going to go ahead and do tag you. We'll say, hey, by username, right? To see if there's anything that we can utilize in here. All right, there's no tokens available for impersonation. So we don't have any impersonation tokens. Crappy day, right? Currently running system now tokens would be available. Call rev to self if primary process token is system. We can try that, rev to self, which just means revert back to ourself. That's all that means. So when we were like get system, if we would have did rev to self, we would have became vagrant again, just so you know. All right, we're not getting any tokens that we can actually impersonate in there. So we're not going to be able to do that impersonate tokens thing up here. Yeah, we won't be able to say impersonate token and then put in the, you know, like this guy like right here, or this one like right here, right? It's not going to take that. It literally says to do a double backslash. But I don't think we're going to be able to get that. All right, actually we successfully impersonated him. So if we do a get UID, boom, we are now SSHD server. So it actually did allow us to impersonate him, even though it just says, well, I guess we can delegate. Never mind. We can delegate to him. So we can actually try to impersonate him also. So why not, right? Impersonate token. Then we'll say that like right there. I think we got to put these guys around it. And I think this also needs double backslash. I think we can do that. And yep, we did. So now we impersonate NT authority system, get UID. And then there we go. Okay, so now we're now NT authority system, rev to self, get UID, and now we're vagrant again. So that, like right there, is impersonate tokens and DLL hijacking. So hopefully you all learned something. I think DLL hijacking is always pretty cool, especially if we start using process monitor, things like that. But really what you're looking for, because usually as a user you can't write to see Windows System 32. If you can, there's already a problem there. But usually what you look for that is programs that are made that you look at and you're like, man, I've never heard of that before. You know, that doesn't look like a software that was built. You know, it looks like something that the company made themselves. Usually looking for things like that if you're going to do DLL hijacking. Also remember, if you're going to change a DLL, like you can change it, make sure you create a backup of that DLL first. Right, so change the other one to like variable.dll.back, and then create the new DLL, so that whenever you do your proof of concept to show that it works, you can always bring it back to its original state. So hopefully you all enjoy this, and I will talk to you all later.